Michaela Wilkins. I am a 20-year-old college student at Louisiana State University. I'm currently in my third year there, and this is my guide to college. Let's get started. So for this part of the series, we're going to be talking about academics. So this means that you've already gotten in and you've already done your financial aid, which means you are on the right track to being a successful student for this upcoming semester or even next year's semester of college. How did I decide my major? How did I pick my major? How did I decide my minor? I originally went into college as a biology pre-med major with a biology major with a pre-med track. I'm no longer on a pre-med track and I'm no longer a biology major. I then switched to kinesiology, that's my major, with a pre-med track. Then I decided, you know what? I don't really think pre-med's for me. I don't think pre-med's for me right now. So I stayed a kinesiology major, but this past semester I just switched my concentration or my track being free athletic training. So basically that's how I decided that I wanted to switch my major. It was a process. I basically changed it because I wanted a more hands-on experience during my undergrad years, through my graduate school years, and even into my profession. It's just something that I personally wanted. You absolutely can change your major. Number one, you're paying to go to school there. You can change your major to whatever you want. And you can change it as many times as you want. The only thing I would say is if you do plan on changing your major, make sure it's something that you really research doing, just because you don't want it to put you too far behind in credit hours. Grade scale at LSU is currently the plus or minus scale. So this means it's going to be a little bit harder for you to get A plus and a little bit easier for you to get a C minus. So unfortunately we are graded on the plus or minus scale. I absolutely hate it. I hate it so much. So at LSU, in order to be considered a full-time student, you need 12 credit hours. 12 credit hours per semester, not the whole year, per semester. So fall semester, you need to at least take 12 credit hours, and spring semester, you need to at least take 12 credit hours. But it's a little tricky. So when you first register for classes, in order to be considered a full-time student, you have to have 12 hours. It does have a certain deadline in the year where you can drop a course and still be considered a full-time student, where it won't affect your financial aid. And this is much later in the year, and it's around finals time, around end of finals, when you can earn a W. A W basically means it is a withdrawal from the class, and this will go on your transcript. There is a time where you can withdraw from a class without it going on your transcript, and that's within the first 2 weeks of classes, I believe, of the start of the semester. So far in my 3 years of being at LSU, I've taken at least 15 to 18 credit hours per semester. Do I recommend taking 18? Absolutely not. It was the worst thing in my whole entire life. I hated it. Do I recommend taking 15? I do recommend taking 15 because I feel like it's a healthy balance. It's enough classes where if you need to drop a 3 credit hour course, you can, and still be considered a full-time student. This is a good question. So I actually pick my classes based off of my degree audit. This can be found, well, if you're an LSU student, this can be found on your My LSU page. I could put the step up right here to where you can find your degree audit. But basically your degree audit tells you what classes you need to take, how many hours you need to take of those courses, and basically it'll keep track of the hour courses you've taken so far to go towards your degree. You can also email or even call your counselor for your college, and they'll tell you, this is the courses you need to take. I literally have a physical printed sheet copy of all the classes I need to take so I can make sure I'm crossing them off as each semester goes by. At LSU, the main campus, I'm not sure about the other flagships, they even break it down into like semesters. These are the classes we recommend taking for these semesters to keep you 100% on track. I actually pick my professors based off a website called Rate My Professor. These are where other college students go in here and they basically rate the college professors' performance throughout the year based off of tests, homework, quizzes, how they grade, all this. Make sure you check your professor on Rate My Professor, because I promise you it will save you from taking a super hard professor or a kind of easier to deal with professor. And trust me, you want to get the easiest professors there are when it comes to college, because you don't want to be struggling and have to retake a course because you have a super super tough professor. Now there are going to be some instances where only that professor is offered for that course of that semester, so you might just have to stick it through, but it's always better to do your research and make sure you're getting the best professor out there possible for you. Yes, your grades 100% can absolutely affect your financial aid when you get into college. At LSU, we have a thing called ZAP. I believe it's acronym SAP, and basically it tracks your progression throughout the semester. And so you have to have at least a 2.5 GPA for the semester to be required satisfactory to even receive financial aid for the next year without it being unaffected. So your financial aid can change per semester depending on your grades. This is why it's super important to make sure that you're at least passing all your classes and you're maintaining that 2.5, because you don't want to get into the little gray area where it's like, am I going to receive all my financial aid? It's just not going to be a fun time. So make sure you're on top of that. W stands for withdrawal, and it'll literally be a W, like a physical W on your transcript if you withdraw from a class, meaning that you removed yourself from the class, you're no longer taking the class, you won't receive credit hours for this class. You get 3 W's per 60 hours. So whether it takes you 2 years to get 60 hours and you haven't used any W's, you'll get those, but your W's do not roll over. After those 60 hours are done, you'll get a new set of W's. In my opinion, I do think taking a withdrawal is better than failing the course, because the F is just the F or the D, anything D and below is a failing grade at LSU. So that's gonna completely tank your GPA. I don't recommend it. Take the W, you're gonna recover from it. So it's college, you're gonna fail a class, it's okay. Some people go to college and they don't fail one class, and some people go through college and they fail multiple classes, and that's okay. It's your journey. But what happens at LSU if you fail a class and you don't receive a W in it, meaning you did not withdraw from the class, you took the D or the F, and that's what you get. You probably won't get any credit hours towards it, and it's not gonna be counted as a passing class, and you're gonna have to retake it. So you can either retake the course or you can actually do grade exemption. A grade exemption basically just means you have to fill out a form, you retake the course the next semester, and they're going to replace your grade with it. However, it is important that both classes still will be on your transcript. It'll just show that you took the class twice. It also means that grade exclusion is pretty much a strictly LSU thing. So whether you're in the LSU School of Nursing, LSU School of Medicine, it should still be able to carry on into that. But as soon as you start looking at other schools for like graduate schools or, medical schools, they might not accept your grade exclusion grade. So that's very important. That's why some people take a W, where it's just recognized on your transcript as a withdrawal, over a grade exclusion of completely failing a class and having to retake it. When you're filling your FAFSA, I don't believe they ask for your GPA at all, but at LSU, in order to still be considered satisfactory for the next semester to receive financial aid, you have to at least have a 2.5. That's it for my video on academics. I hope you all found this very helpful, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.